Dare I ask you what your LeBron take is?
Oh, you want to hear that right now?
Sure. Look
okay,
out,
here we go.
There are not some LeBron lovers in this
We
room.
have some LeBron haters?
I'm not a LeBron
not a hater.
No.
Just not love. Okay.
He's not the GOAT.
He's not the GOAT?
No.
So, okay, so here's the take.
Don't forget you were in a movie named Like Mike.
I was in a movie like Mike.
You give this opinion.
Well, I think
and it wasn't just the shoes for Mike. It was for Lil Bow Wow.
Right.
Because I know the script, Morris.
You do.
So
Let me say this.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. So when we talk about the GOAT in basketball, now I'm a Michael Jordan fan. You know, just the impact of the game.
Yes.
All right. But when it comes to LeBron James,
yes,
and this may be the first time you've heard this, but in the next few years, people will say this. LeBron James is, in my opinion,
yes, sir.
You ready?
I'm ready for you, Morris.
The greatest athlete in American history.
Oh my!
Bo Jackson's going to argue with that.
The greatest athlete, and let me tell you why.
Okay. And Dion.
The level of sustained greatness.
No question.
In a sport where you have to play offense and defense to sustain that greatness for the longest period of time. Who else has done it?
Now, in terms of
who else has done it?
Nobody.
I understand what you're. I understand what you were saying.
Okay.
Like,
so who would be a greater athlete?
As somebody who did sports centers after LeBron's high school games.
Okay.
With Stuart Scott.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
So I have seen it from, at forever, and the fact that he is doing it now at the rate that he is doing it, at the excellence level that he is doing it, is and how he has crushed every record book. There's no one else.
So
totally
who
agree.
would you say is the greatest athlete in U.S. history?
Greatest athlete? I mean, you have to include like what? Jesse Owens, Jackie Robinson. I mean, like you really got to if you're really going
Secretariat.
Well, okay. So that's kind of my point. So I do think that those gentlemen are great athletes. They paved the way in historical things.
Sure.
However, I mean they do what they do every 4 years.
So let me ask you this
every
question.
4 years.
Sure. Who's the greatest champion?
That's a different subject.
No,
that's different.
Okay.
So LeBron is the greatest athlete in U.S. history.
And I'm talking about
great champions.
Let's just keep it a basketball. Let's just keep it to the LeBron.
Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Michael Jordan, hands down.
Well, I mean, Bill Russell, technically.
Well, sure.
I mean, if you want to get technical.
No, I don't want to get technical. I want to drill down to the LeBron Jordan thing.
Well, here's the thing. It's like, see, that's why you can't have a conversation. Like, I can't have a conversation with my son about who's the best because he was not there. He didn't witness live and in person. He's 27.
27.
Yeah.
So, there is YouTube. I mean,
but it's still not the same as being in the moment.
Yeah.
And that's the same reason why I can't watch Bill Russell's games and say, okay, what he did is great. Because it wasn't in the moment. It didn't have the impact that it had live and in person in the moment.
When Jordan, I'll be honest, straight up, when Jordan came out on the floor in the old Chicago Stadium, and it was the height of the Bulls, or not even the height of the Bulls, that entire time with the Bulls from when he started winning championships till when he left the Bulls. There was a sense of invincibility and fear and a sense of dread that I've never felt with LeBron for a split second.
Agreed.
And this was in the era, there were no jersey swaps.
Right.
They actually called traveling. I know I sound like a get off my lawn type guy right now.
There was hand checking.
Come on now.
You go down the lane and they would knock you out.
And Jordan was like blocking 7-footers and going in their faces and shooting free throws with his eyes closed.
Right.
And come on now. That's the difference in my estimation. And I these conversations are fraught because I don't want to come across as me being disrespectful of LeBron's achievements. But there's still one guy who would rip your heart out and show it to you pumping and refuse to put it back in your chest.
Right.
And that was him.
Right.
Michael Jordan.
But I think one probably, if that was just an argument, I think one could argue just because LeBron didn't have that level of aggression, that level of fight in him to that nature, doesn't make him not great. So people can see those two things differently. For me, it was the impact that Jordan not only had on the game of basketball, but just the things Jordan was doing things that we had never seen before.
End of story.
Completely transformed.
And this photograph right here, I'm a diehard New York Knicks fan. It's just like, I mean, he stood in Ewing's way from college to every other second of his career.
He stood in a lot of people's way. He stood in Barkley's way. He stood in everybody's way.
Pretty much.
But LeBron is the greatest athlete in U.S. history. Hey, listen, I'm open to see who else is next.
On the next episode of Watson.
Watson will prove it through science and medicine.
I always find that argument funny because almost 5,000 men have played in the NBA. And we're talking about and what I'm saying is it's pretty amazing that of all those players, we can't decide on these two, but we know these two are head and shoulders, not even head and shoulders, but they're at the top of the list.
Yeah, and from heaven, Kobe's waving his arms, saying, hold on a second.
Yeah. Well, so listen, Kareem is waving his hand. But I think it comes down to LeBron.
Dave Winfield deserves to be in the conversation.
Of what?
Greatest athlete ever. #1 draft pick in 3 sports and is a baseball Hall of Famer.
That's not a bad one.
Baseball. So baseball is a sport where you play, and then you go sit down and watch. So you sit half of a baseball game. You're watching.
Baseball?
You're sitting down and watching. Half of a baseball game. You're sitting down and watching.
Have you watched LeBron the last decade? He's doing a lot of watching on defense.
Have I watched LeBron? Have I watched LeBron in the last decade? Yes. Have you seen his stats?
No,
you cannot hide on the basketball court.
Oh, he's doing a lot of hiding.
LeBron James is?
On defense? Are we watching the same games, Morris?
I'm not sure. Who's your team?
Celtics.
Oh, of course. Here we go. So we got the Dallas Cowboys fan and the Celtics fan over here. Of course.
Yeah. The difference being I can put my bias aside and say Jalen Hurts checks every box that you want, right? Yeah, and I mean, Rich, like you always say, off the field, on the field,
in the locker room,
in the locker room. Jalen Hurts, you wanting to take him home, you want him to marry your sister. He does.
He just got married. Be careful.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
But he just got married.
Thank you for that.
He won't give LeBron props, though. Is what I'm saying.
But hold on. But can we say? I mean, even if you don't want to give him props, can we say LeBron checks every box?
Of course.
That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. But there's one box that he does not check.
Which is what?
Which is when he walks on the court, does every fan that's rooting against him and every single player that's playing against him have some level of fear?
We're
getting into style points. I mean,
style points that lead to wins and losses, though, sir.
Well, I mean
Jordan
he has wins.
People's grills.
He has wins.
Minds. No, there's no doubt.
LeBron has wins. They don't win that Golden State if he tracks down. I think it was Iguodala and slap and pin a shot.
They don't win against Golden State if Draymond doesn't kick someone in the nuts and gets suspended.
That's true too.
Well, I mean
that did change the series, but listen, you can't. The conversation winds up denigrating LeBron, which is not the point. I'm just saying, of course, he checks every box. He
checks every box as the greatest athlete ever.
He's on the Mount Rushmore. Greatest athlete.
Okay. In U.S., I mean, I don't know who else is. I mean, Dave Winfield. Listen, I like Dave Winfield. I think he's great, but. Greatest athlete ever. I mean, you're playing basketball.
He's trying to. You're getting the full Rich Eisen Show experience.
Is that what it is? Okay,
that's what you're getting right now, which is part and parcel. Where Chris normally, for most, you should respect this as well. You're getting his respect. Normally, he will hold his tongue. Because he doesn't want to argue with the guests.
No, please. I'm open for it.
With the guests
I'm open for it.
He thinks the guests are positively wrong. I'm trying to. I know his body language after all this time. He's doing his, but that look right there. He's not even looking at us. That's the look.
What am I wrong about? I just want to hear before I go.
No. We are up against.
I mean, Michael Phelps, Serena Williams. I mean, we could go on and on.
So every 4 years.
Oh,
I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
Serena plays every 4 years.
What's that?
Serena every 4 years.
He goes that with an Olympian.
You said Michael Phelps. You just said Serena Williams.
I mean, he doesn't just take 3 years off and then pick up swimming again.
Well, I mean,
basketball players are regarded as the greatest athletes on the planet.
It's really hard.
Tiger Woods. I mean,
Golfers walk.
They have people carrying their bags.
He's great in his sport.
So
but he's
it's
not the
another
greatest
sport.
athlete.
It's another sport to where let me go hit the ball and let me watch for about 5-15 minutes.
Morris's point is.
Wow, you don't like hand-eye coordination, I guess.
No, it's not that.
That's not athleticism.
If you
Please,
don't mind,
please. You got me. You got me.
Is that any sport in which the athlete, can eat during the contest does not rise to the level of what he's talking about. All right.
Thanks for Mookie, by the way. Appreciate it.
Watson on Paramount Plus, available on the Roku channel.
I didn't make that deal.
Watson airs Sundays, 9 p.m. Eastern on CBS, streaming on Paramount Plus the next day. Great to see you, sir.
Great seeing you. Thank you for having me.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live, weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.